Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, everyone. How do you live?
Morning,
Hopefully, you
Miss.
always are in a good condition. Amen. First of all, let's say thanks to the Allah Subhanahu wa Taala who is giving us some time by Islamic comfort and fight comfort, so we can believe that Islam is a true religion. Secondly, may salawat and salam be constant to our last Prophet Nabi Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Alright, guys, the presentation today is about reading to learn and learning to read. Now, I will read one by one the agenda today. There are first session is opening, second session is introduction, third session is presentation time, fourth session is question and answer session, the last one is closing. Well, guys, before show our presentation, let me introduce our team. I'm Ila Yusrinama as the moderator, and then there are several great presenters, which are Aura Ginta Nuralisa, next Fahmi Ramadan, then Desita Nuria, furthermore Putri Hutami Aznia, and then Desti Sandita, and then Olivia Mutiara, next Risha Rismaya, the last one Siti Sarah Dania. Alright guys, let's open our meeting by saying basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alright, I want to mention the rules of this meeting. First, this is an oral presentation only, so no written materials could be delivered. Therefore, I suggest you all the participants to take notes. And then this webinar is a full of English forum session, so all activities will be delivered in English. Then, all participants must turn off their camera and audio during the presentation. Next, the presentation will be 5 minutes for each class. The president will present the material in turn. Furthermore, question and answer session will come after the whole presentation. The last one, you may start asking questions since the presentation is started. Please notice that the question should be typed in the chat box. Alright, thank you. The next agenda is presentation. For the first turn will be given by the first presenter. Please welcome to Fahmi Ramadan with the topic reading comprehension in ESP. Alright, for Fahmi, time is yours.
Alright, thank you for the time. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, good morning. My name is Fahmi Ramadan, and in this session, me and my friends will talk so much about reading. And for this occasion, we will talk about the reading comprehension in English for the specific purpose first. So, what is it? Alright, for the first, what is reading? Do you know what really reading is? Reading is a complex, purposeful, interactive, comprehending, flexible activity that takes considerable time and resources to develop. Reading is rapid, which means that the reader should maintain flow of information at a sufficient rate to make connection and inferences vital to comprehension. The readers has a purpose for reading, whether is it for entertainment, information, or research. And then the reading comprehension. The reading comprehension is the process of getting meaning from and bringing meaning to a text. Reading is not merely a process of exact identification of letters, words, and ultimate sentences, leading to comprehension built from letter to word to phrase and to sentences. But the readers make use of their existing background knowledge to make predictions about what is coming next in the text and about how some new or unfamiliar piece of information relates to what they already know. And in this process of reading comprehension, the reading skills is required. The reading skills is a cognitive ability which a person is able to use when interacting with the writing text. The purpose of reading and the balance between skills and language affect the teaching of reading in English for the specific purpose. And then now we talk about the reading comprehension in English for the specific purpose. So the teaching of reading in English for the specific purpose affected by the purpose of reading and the balance between skills and language. There are two contributions to the approach to reading in English for the specific purpose. One is the shift from the text as a linguistic object to text as a vehicle of information. And the second is the recognition that good reading requires language and skills. So the reading purpose is a central concern of English for the specific purposes. And next, for the reading skills. The reading skills that we are required can involve the identifying word meaning, drawing inferences, identifying writer techniques, recognizing mode of passage, and finding answer to questions. The reading skills can also include recognizing the script of language, deducing the meaning use of unfamiliar lexical items, understanding explicit and implicitity, recognizing indicators and main point, distinguishing main idea, and so on. Next is the kinds of reading. There are kinds of reading and the reading procedures. The types of reading, there are research reading, which is locating information on predetermined topics, skimming, reading for gist, scanning, reading selectively, and careful reading, which is the readers attempt to handle majority of information in the text to build a modern structure. The readers may choose kind of reading according to the perceived demands of the learning task. And the reading procedures, which is pre-reading, can be predicting word association, discussion, and surveys. And then while reading, it can be a list of questions, scanning and skimming activities, working on the meaning of unfamiliar words, pattern study guide, summarizing, clarifying, and etc. And the last is post-reading activities. There are reviewing the content, work on grammar, vocabulary in content or word roots, discourse features, consolidation of what has been read, discussion, debates, role play, and many more. And there are for the reading comprehension and the reading skills. That's all from me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. All right, it's really interesting materials, Fami. I'm really sure you have taken valuable materials for Fami part, guys. All right, the second material is a beautiful one. It is Putri Hutami Azmia with the topic extensive reading, what, why, and how. For Putri Hutami Azmia, time is yours.
Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for the moderator, Teh Ika, and thank you all for coming here today. Let me introduce myself. My name is Putri Hutami Azmia, and here I want to talk about what, why, and how to read extensive reading. Does anyone knows what, why, and how to read extensive reading? First, I want to explain what is extensive reading. Extensive reading involves learners reading text for enjoyment and to develop general reading skill. It can be compared with intensive reading, which means reading in detail with specific learning aim and task. According to Carrell and Carson, 1997, extensive reading generally involves rapid reading of large quantities of material or longer readings for general understanding, with the focus generally on the meaning of what is being read than on the language. Why we should learn extensive reading? Extensive reading helps learners to build reading speed and reading fluency. In particular, developing reading speed is important because it helps learners to understand language faster and better. And also Nuttall, 1982 in 2009, states that an extensive reading program is the single most effective way of improving both vocabulary and reading skill in general. According to Luca Lampariello, there are 5 ways how to read extensive reading. Number 1 is interesting. Text for extensive reading must be interesting. Since extensive reading is done for a longer period of time, and you must take care to select texts that hold your attention and keep you coming back for more and hour after hour. And number 2 is level appropriate. Text for extensive reading must be level appropriate, since you will not be attempting to understand every single word and phrase. And you must be able to understand a high percentage of text before you even begin. If you don't understand the bulk of the context, the text is not yet appropriate for to read extensively. And number 3 is moderate length. Text for extensive reading must be of moderate length, especially a text should be on average at least 15 until 30 page long. Texts of this length are long enough to fully develop an idea or narrative and require to keep mental track of ideas, concepts, or characters as they develop over time. And number 4 is longer period of time. Extensive reading must be done for a longer period of time when compared with to intensive reading. This is because you will be reading longer texts, which naturally require more time to read. And because sitting down to read for longer periods allow you to get into the flow of reading, and therefore mentally process the material more deeply. And the last is relax. When extensive reading, it is best to stay relaxed. Reading in a relaxed, low stress environment will help you associate reading with pleasure and therefore increase your willingness to read often. And for longer periods, clearly you don't want to be so relaxed that you fall asleep, but instead just relax enough whatever you are reading. And the last is extensive reading will help tackle complex sentences and words that are hard to understand, even if you don't become an avid reader or a book lover. Still develop reading skills to improve your performance at work. That's enough from me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Back to moderator.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Wow, it gives us a new insight, Aznia. And then the next presenter, it is from Olivia Mutiara Savina Laraseti with the topic reading for pleasure, what and how it benefits the students. All right, for Olivia, time is yours.
Thank you, moderator. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. My name is Olivia Mutiara Safina Sati from Siliwangi University. And on this occasion, I would like to present my presentation about reading for pleasure, what and how it benefits students. Begin with the first slide. These are the concepts that I will deliver. I will talk about the definition of reading for pleasure, the reasons why students need that, how does it benefit students, and an example of a good book for pleasure reading. Come out with a definition. Clark and Rambold define reading for pleasure as reading for enjoyment, reading that we do of our own free will, anticipating the satisfaction that we will get from the act of reading. It also refers to reading that having begun at someone else's request, we continue because we are interested in it. Hence, if it's not pleasuring to read, it's not reading for pleasure. Why do students need that? All experts cited from the study that Howard took supports the idea of the reasons why students need reading for pleasure. These are divided into two major reasons. The first reason is based on social reason. Social reason relate to the social environment that students have from their surroundings. By reading for pleasure, it will increase social engagement and may personally choose reading material widely from a variety of sources. And furthermore, it holds a vital role in preparing young people for adult roles and thus enriching the culture and civic life, contribute to social improvements, and in the same way, for personal reasons that relate to their insight, reading for pleasure fulfills an important function of relaxation to self-discovery and self-empowerment. Likewise, offering intellectual credibility, identity, and subversion. It also tends to play a vital part in essential self-formation. Reading for pleasure is a great method that will offer a bunch of benefits through several conditions. In order to get those conditions, students need to accomplish several ways and do what it needs to do to gain the benefits. In particular, all the researchers that Yakubi and Al-Mahruki cited believe that students need to get the passion of the book to increase their self-confidence. Besides, through knowledge, it will enhance both textual comprehension and linguistic competence, resulting in developing their cognitive abilities. And as for the social benefits, exposing readers to different cultures will possibly increasing their cultural tolerance. And the use of literature also may take a big part. For instance, using short story and fiction will increase sympathy and improve sensitivity and makes them more empathic. We have known the importance of reading for pleasure, but it is reassuring to get a decent example to succeed in the practice of reading for pleasure. And therefore, in this slide, this is one of many books that could be considered to practicing reading for pleasure. A Boy at the Back of the Class is the book which is written by Anjali Rauf, a book that portrays the child's viewpoint of the refugee crisis, showing the importance of friendship and kindness in a world that doesn't always make sense. Taught with humor and heart, The Boy at the Back of the Class is a good book that will be pleasing to read at the end of the day. And come to the end of my presentation, these are the bibliographical references I took for making this presentation. And thank you so much for the attention. I will give it back to the moderator.
All right, thanks in advance, Olivia. You have done a wonderful explanation. Okay, guys, are you still there? You must give us a full attention for this webinar because there's a great speakers in the next time. So you guys must stay tuned with us. All right, the next presenter will be delivered by Siti Saradania Nabila with the topic Reading Fluency, Extensive Reading Power in Language Learning. For Sarah, time is yours.
Thank you to the moderator. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Siti Saradania. In this presentation, I would like to present about reading fluency, extensive reading power, and language learning. Next. Before I begin to deliver this presentation, I want to show you the table of discussion. These are what is extensive reading, the reason why using extensive reading, and the rule of using extensive reading. Next, please. All right. First of all, I want to talk about what is extensive reading. Extensive reading can be defined as reading in a great amount for the purpose of a general understanding of the text or the enjoyment of the reading experience. This claim is argued that particularly around 2007. For example, the students read as many different kinds of books such as journals, newspaper, or magazine as you can, especially for pleasure and needing a general understanding of the content. Next. The reason why using extensive reading in language learning. Extensive reading gives students chance to read longer pieces of reading, which they can read at their own speed and their own ability level. Studies have determined that when EFL students read extensively, they become fluent readers, their vocabulary increases, and the reading material is easy. Next. Extensive reading builds vocabulary. When learners read aloud, they read thousands of words and lexical patterns that are not taught in the textbook. Extensive reading allows the learners to develop awareness of collocation, common word partnership, and thousands of lexical phrases. And extensive reading also helps learners to build reading speed and reading fluency. In particular, developing reading speed is important because it helps learners to understand language faster and better. And extensive reading is reading for pleasure. This builds confidence and motivation, which make the learners a more effective user of language. Next slide. All right, the rule of using extensive reading in language learning. The first one is it can provide comprehensible input. Christian, in his book, he argued that extensive reading will be able to direct the occurrence of language acquisition from lessons that are packaged in a relaxed manner, interesting material, and a free or risk-free learning atmosphere. And the second one is it can improve student language competence in general. Greb and Paran have emphasized the importance of extensive reading in providing learners with practice in automatic word recognition and decoding symbols on printed page, or often called bottom-up processing. The third one is it can increase knowledge of vocabulary. Nagy and Herman claim that children between grade 3 and 12 US grade level learn up 3,000 words a year. It is thought that only a small percentage of such learning is due to direct vocabulary instruction, the remainder being due to acquisition of words from reading. Number 4, it can lead improvement in writing. Students who have obtained extensive reading material during high school, they are more skilled at writing after entering college. So, extensive reading is an effective means to encourage improvement in students' writing. Next, it can motivate students to read. And this is because the reading material is selected and adapted to interest students' needs and the needs and interests of students, so it can energize and motivate them to always read the book. And next, it can consolidate previously learned language. Extensive reading can be a potential for reinforcing and recommending the language learned in the classroom. Therefore, students automatically receive the necessary reinforcement and recycling of the necessary language to ensure that new input is retained and available for spoken or written production. And the last is it can develop the skills of predicting the content. Knowledge of reading will be very helpful in guessing or interpreting the deep meaning of each text. Next slide. These are the references I use. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thanks a million, Sarah. And the next presenter is beautiful one. It is from Desti Sandita with topic extensive reading and extensive reading, language learning reinforcement. For Desti, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Hello, everyone. My name is Desi Sandita. On this occasion, I would like to present my materials. The title is Intensive Reading and Extensive Reading Language Learning Reinforcement. As we know that reading is one of important components in learning a language, and reading can help in many aspects, especially in today's era, as we know that technology is developing rapidly. Reading activity are not only sourced from a book, but we can also do it through various kind of gadgets. And here I want you to know two reading strategies that are pretty unique and have many benefits. The strategies are extensive reading and intensive reading, and how intensive and extensive reading reinforce your language learning. Before going there, we should know what extensive reading and intensive reading are. First is extensive reading. According to Brown, extensive reading is carried out to achieve a general understanding of a usual somewhat longer text. So the main goal of extensive reading is to understand a text in a general. And this strategy is more enjoyable because the text is easiest and also you can do it by yourself. The second is intensive reading. Harmer define it as often chosen but not exclusively chosen and directed by teachers, and it designed to enable students to develop specific receptive skill. Intensive reading refers to kind of work done by reading class under the teacher supervision or as classroom activity. Now we already know what is extensive reading and intensive reading. Then what kind of activities can be done by extensive reading and intensive reading? For intensive reading, you can read something challenging, such as reading a journal, article, or essay. For extensive reading, you can read something more enjoyable, like reading a comic, short story, or news. This activity will increase our learning, so what the benefits from intensive reading and extensive reading? First, you will be able to understand the main idea and important things from the text. Maybe all of us are able to find the main topic in the text, but when you use intensive or extensive reading, you will get it faster because you are used to reading a text. The second is you will learn new vocabularies because you will find unfamiliar vocabularies from a text. The third is you will increase your reading speed because you will read a lot of text. So you will increase your reading speed because you are used to reading. The fourth is enable to concentrate, more concentrate than before because you are used to reading. So you will be more focused on the text. And the last one is approach to reading fluency. The more often you read, the more often you will be because you are used to reading, and it will increase your reading fluency. And here I can make a conclusion that the strategies are beneficial in language learning because the benefit obtained will be beneficial to support other components in language learning. So all the benefit of intensive reading and also on extensive reading are things that you will get to strengthen or reinforce your language learning. And here are my references for this material. And that's all about my presentation. I hope my presentation can be helpful. Thank you. Back to moderator.
All right, thanks in advance, Desti. You delivered an amazing performance. Well, the next presenter is really beautiful, guys. I'm sure you will keep your eyes for her performance. She is Aurea Ginta Nuralisa with the topic Combining Intensive and Extensive Reading Strategies for Language Learner. For Aurea Ginta,
Moderator for the time. Good morning, everyone. My name is Aura. First of all, I would like to say thank you for your participation in our webinar. I hope you guys are in good condition today. On this occasion, I would like to answer your question about why we should combine intensive and extensive reading, and why we're not only focusing on one strategy only. Well, let's take a look at the definition first. As we already know that reading is one of the basic four skills of learning a language that has two powerful strategies, namely intensive and extensive reading. So, what is intensive and extensive reading? According to Mr. Day, intensive reading means read to learn. We read to learn about the structure or patterns of a text or a book by comprehension technique such as recognizing main ideas paragraph, recognizing points of view, and then identifying meanings from context that will help us to get the meaning of a text or a book. Meanwhile, extensive reading means learn to read. We learn to read fast to save our times, but also understand what the content of a text or a book by fluency technique such as skimming, scanning, and predicting the topic to help us move away from word by word reading. Move to the first question here. Combining intensive and extensive reading. Is it effective? The answer is yes. It is more effective than focusing on one strategy only because you will be able to comprehend and express what you have read. I give you an example. If you're only focusing on one strategy only, for example, intensive reading, you will not learn how to read fast to save your times because the aim of this balanced learning in reading strategies is to help you to comprehend quickly what you have read. Move to the next question is what does researchers state about this? Here I have two researchers stated their opinions about this balanced learning in reading strategies. First is from John. John mentioned that these combining reading strategies can help to arrive at a more well integrated, balanced, and effective foreign language. Same with Mart in 2015. Mart claims that learners develop skills and strategies while doing intensive reading and then transfer them to extensive reading context. So we can conclude that combining these reading strategies more effective than focusing on one strategy only. Last but not least question is how to combine them. As revealed by Wu in 2016, combining these reading strategies in the classroom is begin with reading a book or a text and then practice several reading skills and then also practice writing by tenses, and then after that recall what they have read and then express them in front of the classroom and then discuss together in extensive reading activities. Not only in the classroom, but we can also do these combined reading strategies by self-taught, such as we do intensive reading activity first, and then we interpret them in extensive reading context. What's the conclusion of these materials? Briefly, learners more expressive when balanced learning happens. Combining intensive and extensive reading can possibly help in anywhere, whether in classroom or self-taught for every language learners. These activities begin with intensive reading or comprehension strategies and then continue with extensive reading or fluency strategies that will help us to comprehend, fluent, and strengthen our reading skill in L2. Here are my references that I use for these materials. Thank you for your nice attention. Back to the moderator.
Okay, thanks in advance, Aura. You delivered your explanation well. And we have reached 6 speakers, but we still have 2 great speakers, guys. So stay tuned with us. Then the next presenter will be delivered by Desita Nuria with the topic Promoting Reading Habits for Students. For Desita, time is yours.
Thank you for the moderator. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In these occasions, I would like to explain about promoting reading habits for students. Next. Begin with the first slide. Here are the concepts of my presentations. The first is what are reading habits. The second is why are reading habits important for students. The third, what are the factors of reading habits for students. And the last is conclusions. Next. The first is the definitions of reading habits. Itante 2012 defines reading habits are activities of reading done routinely, consciously, and intentionally. Similarly, Shan 2006 identifies reading habits as how often, how much, and what students read. Next. And the second is why reading habits are important for students. Here are 3 reasons why reading habits is important for students. The first, reading habits will increase students' knowledge. Mel and Sudirman 2021 said, it is believed that students may have a very large burden of knowledge when they read once. Therefore, by applying the habits of reading, the students will gain a lot of knowledge. The second, reading habits will increase students' vocabulary. Mel and Sudirman also said they will also have wide range of vocabularies. The third, reading habits will build personality and better in academic. See secondary and EGP states by reading, they can also build their personality and be better in academic performance. Thus, reading habits is very useful in enhancing students' knowledge, vocabularies, build students' personality, and students' performance in academic. Next. And the third, what are the factors of promoting reading habits for students? Here are the 4 factors of promoting reading habits for students. The first is schools. Schools must start to push several series of activities and strategies related to reading. For example, the collections of school libraries has a direct impact on students' willingness to read, because students' reading performance is an important indicator of schools' effectiveness. And the second, teachers. Success reading habits promotions. The teachers should use various reading activities to guide students' reading and cultivate their interest in reading. And the third, families. The family environment plays a crucial role in the formations of children's reading habits. The first step in training children to read is to arouse their interest. And then the teachers and parents should guide them in order to understand their mind. If the parents can encourage and guide children to read, as well as provide good reading environments, the children can have significant progress in reading attitude and understanding. And the last is peers. During students' growing process, peers plays an important role. Peers' reading behavior or attitude naturally has an impact on students' reading. They do not only observe and follow their peers' reading behavior, but also gain feedback through reading discussions as well. As a result, they are more willing to engage in reading activities, which has positive impact on children's reading behavior. Next. And the last is the conclusions. The conclusions of these presentations is promoting reading habits for students may have a variety of effects students could gain its important and benefits. Therefore, to success it is important to consider the actions that schools, teachers, parents, and peers could do for helping them achieve the aim of promoting reading habits. Next. So these are the references that I took for making these presentations. Next. All right, that's all for me. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Back to moderator.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Wow, it gives us new insight, Desita. A million applause for you. Okay, guys, we will continue to the next presenter, which is
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Risha Ismail from English Education Department, In this occasion, I want to tell about technology-based reading activity. Okay, first, I want to tell about what is reading, second, why reading activity, third, types of book, then how to keep reading, next, reader experiences, and the last, conclusion. Okay, does everyone like reading? What is reading? According to Kurtz 2002, reading is a complex two-stage process involving the way in which text is perceived, text-based process followed by how the reader processes the information, knowledge-based process. People have different opinion about reading. They change their reading habit according to the pace and information-rich society. Second, why reading activity? Why do some people choose reading activity to use their spare time? First, because reading is inspiring activity. The fantastic thing about reading it is influence people in good way. It makes people more relaxed, more active in thought, and sensitive in feeling. And second, reading is interactive activity. As defined by OYOSEP 2005, reading can be seen as interactive process between a reader and text, which lead to automatically reading fluency. And last, reading can create critical thinking. According to Sigdar 2019, reading mystery book is one way books supply a landscape which a reader can develop critical thinking simply by enjoying the story, discussing and analyzing it with others. Okay, then types of book. There are two types of book. First, book or printed book. Book are the traditional media that people get used to and appreciated a lot. Book are unique object and design make every single book different. Book also can create physical record of someone reading activity and tags to track one personal history. And second is ebook. Ebook is a book-length publication in digital form consisting of text, image, or both readable on computer or other electronic device. And there are some technologies supporting ebook. First is Kindly. Kindly is the e-readers Amazon promoted as a companion portable reading device with the ability to wirelessly download book, blog, or newspaper. And second, pen scanner. Pen scanner is a pen scanner handheld device with embedded optical character recognition engines scan the text and can editable for further use and aim to help reading and transmit printed text from paper to computer. And next, how people keep reading book. How do some people still survive reading on book? According to Duran 2013, the reason marked by almost students for not reading ebook is to protect the wellness of their eyes. And the students state that it can cause serious distress of eye strain and back pain, in spite of many positive side reading to the screen. And according to Coleman 2019, reading on book give reader feeling of reading as a problem with ink on paper and tactile in nature. Book provide a feel that is entirely different from holding an ebook. Printed book allow people to feel and smell the aroma of the textures of the page and hear the flipping of the page. But half of people are choose to change their reading habit by use technology. Why? Because according to Kahraman 2017, one of the key things have changed as a direct consequence of the advancing technology is our way of obtaining new information. Now, one can access hundreds of resources on almost any subject with just a click button of a button and search using search engines. And according to Koch and Herring, 2016, ebook have a variety of advantages over current printed book. They are easy to access, no need to go to the library, easy topic search, can be accessed anywhere, anytime, cheaper and subspace deviation. And the next is reader experiences after reading book and ebook. First, reader experiences reading on book can be evaluated in several paths. First, pre-reading. In this past, people who reading book connected with memorize or aspiration about story or knowledge. Second, reading past. While reading, reader associate with tactile and kinesthetic aspect. And the last is post-reading. In the last phase, reader get their social perspective, such as recommending and sharing. And second, reader experiences reading use ebook. First, they read their own ebook privately so they can share them, but they can only write the comment. And the second, they can create digital annotation and add virtual bookmarks. And the last, the possibility to browse the internet with e-reader can make interaction as active as one can do with other personal computer. And the last, the conclusion. These are the conclusion. Reading is one way to get first information, although everyone's method of getting information was different because of technological development. However, the way they read will give their own impression and benefit of reading book for them. And these are some references that I use for this material. That's all from me. Thanks for your nice attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Back to the moderator.
All right, thanks in advance for Richa. And then, guys, so now we are come to the question and answer session. There will be 3 questions first, but before that, please mention your name and your question in the chat box. Okay, guys, any question maybe? All right. While we waiting for the question, we have faced a great presenters, right? From some presenters and beautiful presenters. All right. And if you have a question, don't be hesitate to show up your question to us, and we will try to give best our answer to make your be understand well about the topic. Okay, once again, if you have a question, please mention it in the chat box, your name and your question. All right, we have one question, guys. This is from Ibu Melisa Sri. For Ibu Melisa, time is yours.
Is it possible for me to ask the questions directly to the presenters? Or do I need to write down the question?
I think it's more better for writing your question in the chat box, Miss.
All right, thank you.
All right, we have one question from Ibu Agis Andriani, and the question is, what can make the students motivated to read? All right, for all the presenters who will be answer this question first. Maybe from the handsome one, for Fahmi, you can try to answer first.
All right, thank you for the questions. Well, what can make the students motivated to read? Well, for my personal experience, maybe I used to read the some things that I really interest in. Something like maybe the novel or something that I need to know or I have a curiosity about it. And then beside the novel or the
Fahmi, you can unmute your voice to answer this question.
is being unmuted.
All right,
Oh,
it's clear.
okay. So, well, what make the students motivate to read? I think for my personal experience, the reading materials that are motivate us as a students is maybe the reading material that a lot of our we are interested in. The same thing that like maybe a novel or a reading material that have we have a curiosity in it. It also can be the same thing we want to know or the same thing we have interest for us. I think that's uh, something that motivates me. I have a very great interest in reading novel with great story, especially for the genre of fantasy. That's all.
All right, thanks in advance for Fahmi. I hope it can answer the question for Ibu Miss Andiani. And then the next one from Ibu Meli Sasri with the question is, in what way do the presenter read extensively? Please share your own experience. Thank you for the presenters answernya. You can try to answer for Ibu Meli Sasri's question. Okay, for Putri, you can answer it. All right, maybe there is a trouble connection Putri connection. And then for Alivia, you can answer the question.
Yes, I can.
All right, time is yours.
All right, so the way the presenters read extensively is when they read something they like and then they enjoy it based from their interests and the need of their knowledge. I think that's all from my answer.
All right, thanks in advance for Alicia for answering the question. And then, well, guys, we have reached the end of this presentation. I would like to close this question and answer. We would like to say thanks again for presenter and all of the audience for active participation. The conclusion of presentation today is reading is the one of important things for us to get a lot of information in the world. So you can improve your reading ability with your favorite method. It can be extensive reading and intensive reading. So keep it up your reading. The more you read, the more you be master. Hopefully, the presentation will give benefits for us. Thanks in advance for your attention. See you later. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wabarakatuh. Thank you.